Hey guys, welcome. Holy shit, sorry about that. Fuck.
It's too early to be that loud.
Sorry. I got to put my inside voice on. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is episode 157 for Jump Street, the live episode. This is our third time doing this at Winterclash, right? Is this our third?
Probably, yeah.
I think
sounds about right. I'll take
So
it.
thank you very much for joining. You guys excited for this podcast today?
Make some noise. We got Julien and Cudot. Come on up.
Hello, everyone.
Can we believe we went 5 years without having you on the show yet? Like one of the best skaters out nowadays. So
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for doing this with us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I guess Winterclash is a good opportunity for that.
Yeah, I mean, started off, we're here at Winterclash with everybody. You've won numerous times already. This is no new feat for you. How does it feel being back again here in 2024?
Yeah, of course.
Does it, are you excited about it? What's going on? Are you trying to win today or tomorrow or what?
Basically, every comp I enter, I try to win. So yeah, I'm kind of used of the pressure. The pressure is always there, even it's a small, big comp. I always have pressure. But I noticed in the last years that the more important the comp is to me, the more stress I got. Like right before. So obviously, Winterclash is one of them. So I guess I'm in for a ride tomorrow.
We talked about it a little bit yesterday during the movie time, but you competed with Brian Aragon here a long time ago. Not at this one. It was in Germany, I think.
Yeah, in Milan.
Milhausen.
Yeah. So what was that experience like? One of your earliest Winterclash experiences, and a lot of the time people first heard you and first recognized you coming to prominence. What was that experience like?
Yeah, that's one of the craziest and most spontaneous experience as well. And everybody asks me about this all the time, and it's like I have no words for that because I was so young, and it was like so unexpected and spontaneous at the same time that it just happened. And when I think about it, I'm like, what the fuck? And it was my first comp entering as a pro because as I said yesterday, I turned pro like the year before in ASA, winning the Amateur World Championship. And then I think the first comp I went to was Winterclash, so I had to skate it as a pro, you know. And then I ended up battling with Brian. That was like, what the fuck? And he's still my favorite skater of all time, so that was even an extra crazy thing. But what is funny is like this year at Winterclash, it was, I think, first time people was seeing Nils Johnson as well. He was as small as me. Like we were both really small.
How old were you at that time?
I think I was not that young. I think I was 17 or something like that. But I was looking younger than 16 or no, wait.
You looked like you were like
No,
13.
Yeah, no, I was 14.
Okay.
I was 14 because I turned pro 13 years old 2006, and that was 2007. Yeah, I was 14, and I think it's the same age. And yeah, we both kind of show up the same time at Winterclash. It's pretty funny.
It's crazy to think about that you were 14 then. I think because of that, you've been in the eye of skating for so long that it seems like you're older, but you've just been going at it for so long since you were young.
Yeah,
and
that's it.
I feel like that event with Brian Aragon kind of set your trajectory up for how you were to skate contest in the future. Did that experience give you more confidence going forward and to win other competitions in the future?
Yeah, exactly. Like it start like this, so you gotta stay like this on the minimum, if not getting better. So yeah, that was my expectations was forever this level, and I experienced to battle against this level. So that was the best way to go on this level, and that's what I'm still trying to do.
We just had like a quick conversation before we started. You were telling me, I find it hard to believe that it's hard for you to skate in front of crowds like this, but you're known for skating in all these massive contests, even like feasts, Winterclashes, all those things. But you're telling me when you skate a street or by yourself, you're actually shy in front of a lot, or like overwhelmed by all these people. How do you challenge that from skating personally by yourself and then skating in contests like this?
Are you talking more about like the crowd, like people watching, or like skating with a crowded skate park like Winterclash with a lot of people skating the same time? Like, because it's two different things. Yeah. Like the people who watch, like skating in front of people watching you, or just like skating in a crowded skate park. What you're asking for?
Yeah. I'm just saying, we were talking about, I found that hard to believe that you don't like skating in front of crowds or with a lot of people. But
I
this
love
is
it,
like-
but it cost me a lot of stress. Like I was saying before, like every comps I enter, I get stress, and one reason of the stress is like skating in front of everybody.
Yeah.
So, but it is what it takes to do comps, and I'm a competitor, and I love it. So, I just go through it.
Yeah, I can see that a lot of people get stressed when it comes to skating events. Sometimes they don't do it, but it seems like you rise to the occasion with that, and sometimes the stress can help. Do you find the stress is helpful when you're skating the competitions?
I think so because I have done pretty good on competition so far until now, and I have stress all the time. So I guess it's a good thing, and it's a common thing to say that like if you don't have stress, it's like maybe you don't care enough. So I mean, I wish I had no stress, but it is the way it is, and it works. So yeah, I'll stick with stress for now.
It would be weird.
But wait, sorry,
No, go
I have some friends who are some good competitors, and they told me that they don't stress at all. So it's not necessarily like a necessary thing to do good, because I know some who, at least they tell me they don't have stress and they still do good often.
I guess it depends on the person, and you see like different competitors in different fields act differently, and some people the stress helps, some people go in completely relaxed. I can't understand going in relaxed. That's kind of crazy to me. But we talked about yesterday how you really love street skating as well, but I think you're known for being so successful in competing, like we were just talking about. Yeah. Did you find like you had to separate that? Like you had to prove like I need to make street parts and I have to define myself as a street skater? Or is that something that just came naturally?
I needed to prove since I discovered street, but I needed to prove it to myself, because I remember maybe the first street video I saw was Cudot, but at this time I was still beginning, so I didn't really pay attention to that. I was really like a newcomer. And then I started getting better at skate park, and then I discovered straight jacket, and that's when I was like, that's what I want to do. So since this day, it was like the most important thing to me. The most important doesn't mean the thing I do the most, because I always say skate park is fun, is comps, is like shows, stuff like that, mostly fun. But street is like it's about being proud of what I do. Like I'm always 10 times more proud when I do a street trick that I wanted to do before than a skate park trick. Like it's so much harder for me because I don't come from it. So it took me a lot of time to learn how to save, to get used to it. When I don't street skate for even 3 months and I go back to it, I'm like, fuck, I need to do all of this again, And I have some friends street skater, they can not street for 6 months, they come back, it's the same. That is what it is for me at skate park. I cannot skate park for 6 months, I come back, and I can throw a double backflip. I still know where I am, stuff like that, because I've been doing this all my life, with and without skates. Street skating, if I don't do it like not every day, but a lot, I kind of lost it. So yeah,
that's the
thing for me.
That's really interesting to hear, because watching your street parts, you look very comfortable out there. Especially like there's a lot of like big rails in your parts, huge kink rails, and that's something like super high level you have to be comfortable to do. But it makes sense.
Yeah. They're my favorites, big rails, stuff like that. But I took tons of tries, like really a lot of tries. Like I take my time. I guess we have to getting older as well to find other solution, other process to get there, because obviously we cannot do like such a big fall and do it again and again. So we gotta sometimes take more time. But sometimes it's like overusing the body, so it's hurting you in another way. So I'm always trying to find the balance and find new solution, new process to get where I want to get.
Do you prefer like filming an epic street part, or would you rather like win a massive contest like this or Feast or something like that?
No question, epic street part for sure. I mean, it's nothing to compare, to be honest.
Do you have like a favorite trick that you've done over the years? I know you did that massive kink rail in South America. That stands out to me as one of the most epic tricks that you've done. Is there anything personally for you that you've done that stands in your mind?
No, nothing come to my mind except this rail. I don't have a favorite one, so I was keep thinking to the same one, because to be fair, I think it's just the biggest I've done in terms of dangerousness, and I was technicity because you get a balance, and the rail was kind of strange material and size. So yeah, that would be the biggest. The loop topsoul on the big kink rail we saw yesterday in the preview Geneva I love that one, and I did some pretty good one in the USA between FM Invitational and Careers Open, and I filmed those one. But it's for a street project that's gonna take me years to realize if I even go through it. So I can't tell the tricks right now.
Wow, it's gonna take years to make.
Yeah,
Wow.
I have a big project I want to make, and it would be like a big worldwide street section with a lot of iconic spots and big spots from all around the world. And I'm focusing on USA now, so that's what I took the opportunity last year to stay in between the two comps to start filming in California on my own and with the people I meet around there. And
See, that was a couple of things that I was going to want to ask you about because you've done so many projects recently, but you just mentioned the USA, and we saw your part yesterday with Cymatics and that you were skating in Texas. What's your experience been skating in the US, skating in Texas, skating with those people, and the whole Cymatics experience?
every time I stay there for skating, I'm like, this is where I should have born, because it's the shit. Like you go out every day and street some perfect spot. I mean, that's my experience at least, and that's all I've been dreaming, like all my kid life and even all my teenager and even my young man life, And when I took this opportunity, those last 2-3 years, to go there once a year, stay around 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and have fun, try to be, a local in like taking a nice street and being able to go street skate 3-4 times a week, and that was the shit. That was
Living the dream.
Yeah, that was what I expected, even better. So, yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep on doing those years, and maybe at some point, maybe I would try to stay 1 year or some shit like this. We would see.
Did you have goals growing up when you were first skating? Like you became pro at Eisenberg's when you were 13. When you knew that there was like some momentum building up, did you have goals that you've already achieved or exceeded at this point? Or more on the horizon?
Yeah, not really. I was just doing comp mostly. So it was like this, comp after comp. Then I started to have the opportunity to travel, thanks to my parents and thanks to some people who was taking care of me at the skate park I start. So yeah, it was just going back to back without questioning myself so much. It was just what I love to do and what I would do every day. Then I started to pay attention to streets, so that's what I wanted to do. And then my indoor skate park closed. So that's where my level went really up. Like I learned all my bases there, and I was good at spinning and stuff like that, but that was only ramps. And then we were just going there to have fun every day, and we were not improving at all. Like when you get even the best skate park of the world in your place, at the end you just go and hang around and shit around. You don't improve anymore. So this closed, but I was still into skating, so we started to go some different skate park, more street type, started to go some street skating as well. My friends I was skating with were more street skaters, and they were older than I, so they had already better abilities to go on street rail and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how my level increased a lot, and I started to do different stuff and kind of apply my abilities of skate park on the street and blah blah blah. And then the goal started to create by themselves, and it was mostly about like big section I'd like to make, big tricks, big spot I'd like to skate. But it was only dreaming. It was only dream because then I turned up being a teenager, starting to drink. So I kind of not give up on this project, but I was just not doing them at all. It was just in some part of my head, but I was just partying, still skating some comp, stuff like that. And then I quit drinking a few years ago, and then all those dreams came back, and I was okay, I'm in shape now, so let's go for it. And I just started like this.
I didn't know you quit drinking, but it makes sense when you watch your skating because you're insanely productive. And sometimes when people are partying a lot and then they cut that out, you see such a high, like their skating change in so many different ways. Like Sean Kelso, he hasn't drank for like 2 years, and you could see he's just putting out like a ton of shit. But
yeah, you're back to what you love like instantly. Like this shit can make you forget the really rare thing you love in life, and that was the case for me. Like the only thing I ever care about was inline skating, and I was forgetting about it. And same for family and stuff like that. So yeah, when you stop the shit, you just back at yourself, and you do it at your best.
That's awesome, man. And yeah, you were talking about how you were like able to be successful both in the comms and in the street. About productivity, you've put out so many different projects over the past 2 years. You went to Brazil to do a project. You went to, I think, somewhere else in South America to film.
The big project was Mexico.
In Mexico.
In Brazil, I did a small street video, but I was end of they lost my luggage in Mexico. I filmed it for 1 month in a row in Mexico, and they lost my luggage landing to Brazil. So I was kind of fucked up arriving in Brazil, but I still made a little street section with Carlos Pianowski, like a shared section. It was so much fun.
I was gonna say, what's the process for you to make a project like this? Because obviously you travel. Do you work with the same filmer? Are you working with other filmers? Like, how do you begin to take on a project like this?
All of these projects we're talking about, they're all about opportunities and people face, how do you say it? Like, idea from somebody, you know, I met or a friend I got, and we just do something hazardous. Can I say that? By hazard, you know? Like Mexico, it was not my plan. My friend lives there, and he say, "Wait, while you visit South America, you should go to Mexico, even if it's North America." And I would like to film a documentary about you and skating. I was like, "Okay, it's in some part of my head. I will see." And then it turns out that after the World Championship in Argentina, my friend Fritz from Carrier Skate Shop and Cymatics tell me he wants to do a comps in Dallas, and he want to make me come over there. So I was like, okay, let's do this like this. I will be close to Mexico, and then I can visit my friend. Then I call my friend, okay, I'll be in Mexico if you're still down for this. And I went there. It was his project. I was agree with it, and I told him, yeah, you're gonna film whatever you want, and if you get enough, good for you. You can do it. And what happened is when I start do one cool street tricks, then I'm like, okay, I want to make a big street section. So that's what happened. He started filming lifestyle interview, blah blah blah, and then I start to have 2 or 1 very cool street clips I was happy about, and then I was like, okay, I want to give myself 100% to have a street section at the end of this project I'll be proud of. And Geneva is kind of the same. It was randomly street session with Diego, and our friend was filming us, and then was like, oh, we got some cool shit. We should do something out of it. Yeah, let's have the interview stuff. Let's have this. But yeah, so all of these projects were like mostly spontaneous and around my travels and I don't know, habits of the time. But the other one I was talking about, you know, the USA one I started to do. I had another one I want to do in Paris. Those one are the main one that come on from me, and that's something I'm only starting right now. And it's a big process.
I think it's so interesting that you say those are spontaneous, because they look like a lot of work goes into it. Obviously, you've traveled overseas for it. But it's just so funny to hear that you make it spontaneous and you get a couple of tricks and one thing leads to another, and then you feel like you have to film this whole part. They've all come out like incredible, and you've done so much over the past couple of years. It's just you've been so busy.
Yeah.
Is there other places in the world that you want to film sections at? You did a lot of South America, Europe, USA, other places that you want to go to that you haven't been to yet?
Actually, I can't think about other places, because every place I go, I'm like, I need to go back. I need to go back, skate this. I need to go back, just enjoy this place because I love it. And yeah, for the worldwide street section I was talking about, for now I'm just focusing on the spot I know I want to skate, like the iconic spot of USA, stuff like that. But I'd like to, you know, if I wanted to make sense and real for real be a worldwide street section, I would need to go at least on different continents. Do you say it like that, like this?
Yeah.
Continents, yeah, like South Africa, Asia, of course. So yeah, I'm for now focusing on the spot I know, like from USA and Europe, like the iconic spot I know from there, and then I would start to reach out for people like, hey, do you know iconic spot over there? Do you know big spot there? I'm trying to to go through this project. So
yesterday we did the movie premieres, and one of them was the Mesmer New York City premiere, and you were saying that it was so cool seeing the city that we grew up in with all these other people in it. And like while you're saying this, I'm thinking about if you came to New York, like how crazy it would be to see you destroy all the New York City spots. Have you considered going to a place like New York, like all those iconic spots and everything?
Of course, I don't have some particular iconic spot that I want to do or tricks I have in mind, but I got some spots that I want to skate for this video in New York. And I was thinking at the spot you tried and Jeff tried, nobody did that, right?
That's what I was thinking of as soon as the first spot that came to mind.
Dude, please end it. That'd be so nice.
Wait, you would do it? You
I
would do
don't
it to
think
the
I
drop?
can do it. I've never been up there, but it looks so high. It looks like you gotta jump over a rail to make it to a rail, and I don't like this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So I don't think I got it, but I mean, this spot has been killed. Chris Farmer did 360 stool on the classic curving
Yeah, the
pink
kick
rail.
rail.
I cannot do better than that, and I don't think I can do this rail. But if I go to New York to skate some iconic spot, I go have a look.
Definitely
Yeah,
got to go
because-
have a look. I feel like if anyone could do it, it's you.
It's like the height of the ceiling.
It's a
Pretty
crazy
much.
spot, man.
I feel like I gotta ask this question because you're one of the best, if not like arguably the best skater around these days, and it seems that you don't have a skate sponsor, which is so hard to believe. Is that by choice that you still ride Solomons? Is that by choice? There's no opportunity ever come up? Can you touch on that?
Yeah, for sure. It's not it's not a choice because, to be honest, no brands came to me and like proposed me something since I've been skating Salomon. You know, I have some friend who works with razors and stuff like that, so I'm talking with them sometimes, and they say, yeah, we would like to have you on the team, but we cannot pay for now, or stuff like this. So yeah, then I don't pay interest to that anymore. I'm like, okay, I understand, but that's not good for me. So the choice is that I just don't want to make what I do now on my skates for a brand without getting paid like a decent amount. So that would be the choice, but it's not even a question because nobody asked me for that. Maybe they know I've been saying this maybe too much and people know, so they don't even ask. I don't know.
No one has money. That's the problem.
I know. So I'm not complaining. I'm not asking.
I was gonna say, was there ever a point where a lot of people like it's the dream to make skating work as a job or to make money, and you've been successful at some points in skating. Has it ever been something you've been able to do full time?
Yeah, it is at the moment. I mean, it was almost all my life because I had a chance to live at the family house in Paris, so I never had to pay a rent. So it was most of the time.
That helps a bit.
That helps a lot, especially in Paris. I would not live in Paris otherwise, but I moved off like a few weeks ago because my brother went back, and then I just left him my space and went to south of France, live with a friend. So those last years has been pretty successful that I managed to live only with competition shows and the little contracts I had with with sponsor, clothes sponsor, stuff like that, and little video projects I made on VOD as well. Before that, I was teaching skating class, and before that, I was just a teenager kid going away from home, doing some comps, coming back, spending all my money, coming home because no money more. That I'm talking about it in Foot Moon West. So that was the lifestyle. Like just I get money, I go away, I skate, I drink, I have no money, I come back home. Hey, Dad, I'm here again, and yeah, then I stopped alcohol. I broke my knee because when I stopped alcohol, I was feeling like so powerful straight away, but I was just in my mind. My body was not ready, and I broke my knee at the Winterclash in 2019. I was so juiced, like I was feeling like a kid again, after 10 years being skating and drinking, so not at the same motivation at all. And I arrived at Winterclash with this motivation, and that's when I started to skate Salomon. So I was even lighter, I was feeling the feelings from before. So I went too fast. And I broke my knee during the final on the first minute. And after that, during my rehabilitation, I went through a teaching skating diploma because I didn't want, like, when I come back to skating, I have pressure that I need to win comps to earn money. I wanted to be able to teach skating, like chill and earn money this way, and in that way I can make a comeback on competition in a chill way. Like, okay, I'm just gonna give it a go, see how it is. I don't need to do good.
You don't have to worry about like paying the bills or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I did for 2 years. I was teaching skating like 4 days a week and coming back to skating, basically skate park, competition second, and then street. And it went very well for the last 2 years. So then I decided to stop teaching for the time I can afford it. So that's what I'm doing now for 2 years. And it works okay for now. So yeah, I try to do it until I can't anymore. And when I need more money, I'll be back to teaching probably, or I don't know, company doing some stuff in skating. We'll see.
It's I think a lot of people wonder, is it possible to have a job just in skating? And it is possible, but it usually looks like that. People are trying to skate.
Sketchy.
They're trying to skate competitions when they can. They put out VODs when they can, but they're also teaching when they can. They're doing shows. So that's like a whole area that's opening up. And that's what it usually looks like if someone's making a life out of skating. What's your experience with the shows? How is that been? What does that look like?
I think I started with shows maybe even before competitions, because as I was saying, I started in the biggest skate park of Europe back in the days, like almost 20 years ago. It was called Roller Park Avenue. Maybe you heard about it. It was in Rolling, the video game, and it was a vert over there. And so when I start, some friends of Ty Chris was over there, and they started to help me and friends, and they started to coach us for vert, only for vert. So I was taking vert lessons from the beginning, and then we started doing shows with them, and I mean with Ty Chris team, and yeah, that's how I enter in the shows area. I did shows for all this area time from 2004 to 2007, something like that. Then
On
the
vert?
skate park, yeah,
On vert.
only on vert with those guys, and
Imagine learning vert with Ty Chris.
yeah, he was there often not on the trainings or whatever, but on the shows he was often there. And then this went down for a little bit, and then I think I started to do some shows randomly for this and this. I remember I've been doing some vert shows for Disneyland Paris, but it was with those guys as well. And then I did some show with Fizz, and they make me travel a lot for that, like in La Réunion, and then here and there. And those last years, I did some show with Nitro Circus and Cirque du Soleil, and that was quite a good accomplishment as a showman.
I didn't know you did Nitro Circus. How was that experience?
I almost didn't know as well. It was so
Why?
random and spontaneous, like it was not on purpose. First time was in Paris. I asked Chris, like, I saw you're coming to Paris. Can I come to try the ramp? So finally managed to make me come in try the ramp. So I tried
With
the
Chris
ramp.
Haffey?
Yeah.
Okay.
I tried that. He told me no.
Hmm?
I tried that. He told me no.
He told me no too first, but then the first time I say okay, and he gave me free places to come see the show with my family. So it was nice from him. I was like, thank you, man. We came see the show, and then they came back to Paris a few years after. So then I asked again, and he answers, no, it's not possible. I was kind of pissed. So for once I didn't answer. And then I saw 1 week before they're in London, and some random guy on skates use the ramp. And I know he's a friend of a scooter rider. So I'm like, okay, if he can, of course Chris can make me. And he's here for a long time now. He's important to the Nitro team, so they gotta listen to him. So I send him another message, and I say, hey Chris, I'm sorry to bother again, but hey, I'm Julien Cudot. You know me. I've been doing comps all over the world around you, and Paris is where I live. I know I can come try the ramp. Please let me in. And he say, yeah, you're right. Come. So I come in. He feed me. He helped me. He teach me how to do it, and that was amazing. I was so juiced. And then he was leading me to the entrance to get some tickets to come back see the show. And then we crossed with the team manager. Chris Haffey was turning team manager at this time, but he was not yet the official team manager. So we crossing the team manager at the time, and the guy say, "Hey, where are you going? You don't want to do the show?" I was like, "Yeah." Chris look at me too. I was like, "You want to do the show?" I was like, "Yes." They're, okay, show in 1 hour. I was like, "Wow, what the fuck?" So that's how it happened. It went well. So they asked me to come back the day after. I came back the day after to try the bigger ramp, because there's two kind of ramp. They're both huge, but there is one who is even more huge. So the first day I didn't try the more huge one, so I take part in the show only on the normal one. And they say, tomorrow you come, you try both ramp, and then you do all the show. So that's what I did. It went well during the training, and during the show I almost fucked up the whole show. Like, we were doing a train, and I was first of it, doing a backflip drop, and then going on the jump with all the Nitro team following me. And
All sports?
So you
all sports. Ryan Williams in my back, the scooter legend.
But you say you start from the platform to backflip in,
into dropping. Yeah,
like you skate forward to backflip.
yeah.
Like a video game.
I think
And
that's
you were-
why they asked me to do the show.
And you're the first one of the train.
I think yeah I was the first. I think I thought you asked if I was the first to drop back.
Yeah.
I think yes, and I was the first of the train, and yeah, the ramp is so big that you gotta focus on it like centimeters after centimeters. But it's so well done that you forget that you're going so fast, and that's what happened, because I did it the day before and it was okay, and so I was like, okay, I focus on my backflip, then I focus on the jump to do a nice looking double backflip. But my mistake was to not focusing on the end of the run up. So I do a backflip, everything's all right, and then I don't really look and focus on the run up. I just focus on the jump, and then when I arrived down, my leg cannot handle the pressure because I was not focusing on it and not expecting it. So my legs start to go like this. I managed to balance and stay on my feet, but then the jump is coming, so I lose my balance again. And there's Ryan Williams, like, and all the teams with BMX in my back. And so I lose my balance again going up the launch box, the jump. And then I finally collapse and I do a split on the jump.
launch?
Yeah,
Oh,
my
no.
balls always almost touch it, and then I go front flip, and I fall in the hole. Yeah.
Oh, no.
And I fall in the hole, and everybody goes over me. It was crazy.
That's like a video game.
I tore muscles, but I was okay.
You tore something?
Yeah, I tore a muscle from here, so I was out for 3 months, but it was not so bad for
I mean, they
that.
put the guy who only has 1 day experience going first in the train. That's pretty nuts.
They're pretty crazy. I figured out those last, like, I was kind of wondering after I saw the first show, like, how crazy they are, because they do some crazy shit. Like in their show, they show some right in the show in front of everybody. They show on the screen some video of one of the team member getting tetraplegic in a live show that happened, 1 year ago. So okay, look, this guy, he tried this for world first 2 years ago, and he broke his back, and
That's how they start
now
the
he's
show?
gonna be the first one to do a tetraplegic backflip on a bike, and the guy just come in with a bike and a fucking installation for tetraplegic people on the FMX, and he does it, and he does a backflip with the like it's mental. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It was just like, wow, that's a lot.
That's crazy. And I'm sure. I was just thinking about it before you had the gig. You were doing the backflip off the platform into the.
Before I had what?
Before they gave you the job, before they hired you to do the shows, you were doing the backflip off of the platform into the thing.
I did it in the training.
So they were definitely like, okay, we have to hire you. You're doing crazy.
I think that's why they asked, because I know they were pretty surprised about me doing this, and they're not surprised so often.
How was it working with all the other sports, like the skateboarders, scooters, BMX, I think, in there in the Nitro Circus? Did they all welcome you in? They're like, oh yeah, we need this guy. This is awesome.
Yeah, they're all beasts. To be honest, they're also cool. Some are like, looking not party like drinking, but like looking like party guy. Like, hey, so I don't know how you say that, extraverty. Yeah, and some are more calm, but when you cross some eyes of anyone, they're all like nice, like nice looking, like in a good attitude, like welcoming you, making you feel comfortable, whatever is their personality, like they was very good surrounded for that, and they tell you what to do, like I ask, I'm not afraid to ask when I don't know, so I was like, yeah, how fast I'm gonna go, how fast I should drop in. And they know, even if they're doing different like skate or BMX, they know. So they're making you feel good. They show you, they help you. So yeah, that's good.
That's cool. It goes to show you too that persistence is key. It's important to be persistent. It took 3 messages to Happy, but you finally broke in.
I should have tried more than once.
Yeah, of course.
That kind of reminds me of something else about talking about gear, like your skates and stuff, because I know you ride freestyle, and I don't picture anybody riding a mega ramp freestyle, and especially with the tricks that you do in skating and contests like this. How do you get away with riding freestyle when most people would want as many wheels as possible to get as fast as they can go?
I think Takashi Yazutoko was skating freestyle on the verts at some point. Maybe not freestyle, but anti-rocker, you know? I think he was. I'm not sure, but I think he was. I think he's not anymore. But I don't think you're taking so much more speed with that. I think it's just a different way of skating, like more comfortable, maybe easier to turn around, feeling just softer, feeling better. But I've tried it. Like I haven't tried it a long time because I'm not patient. If I don't like it straight away, I'm not gonna go for it. So I'm not very well placed to talk about it. But from what I witnessed, I didn't feel like I was going faster. I just felt that it was way different. So I got it while people love it, but I'm not sure it's about speed. And also I'm from the old school way, which is old school way for me. I mean, it may be not for everybody, but when I grew up, I was watching like Stefan Alfano and Romain Godner, and those guys were just about their legs and their wheel. You know, like they were running on the skate park and taking their speed, whatever it takes, whatever the ground it is. They never change their wheels. They never care about this. They don't know how to change wheels even some. I sometimes I count as well, and I think that's how I just built myself and learn how to use the ramp at the most advantages and go through those roll ride. And sometimes you don't need that much speed. Like when sometimes I saw on the skate park, people's gonna run their ass off to get to the highest obstacle, but it's not the way. If you just go with the amount you need, like which sometimes it's less, but you just use the ramp to the maximum. You know, it's just about using the ramp to the maximum and throwing your body at the right time, and it's even way more safe. That's what I learned recently. I mean, that's what I've been learning all my life, but that's what I put words on recently. Like now I know what it is.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's crazy that you were doing vert shows too. Not a lot of people do all three, have like the vert, the skate park skills, and the street skills. To have all three is like a rare thing if you look for it. Do you still train on the vert? Do you still get on a vert ramp? And do you still feel comfortable on a vert ramp?
I only train vert when I know I'm gonna have a show in vert. So there's no vert. There's no vert where I live. There's almost no vert anywhere. And yeah, it's a pity, but it's kind of dead. While I don't understand why, because it's the most impressive, you know. I mean, at least for people who doesn't know about skating, it's the most impressive discipline, not only of inline skating, but of only extreme sport. Like if you put skateboarders, BMX on a vert, they do well. It's impressive, but they're really limited, you know. Like it didn't went really better since maybe 10 years. And in skating, it was just increasing on the vert, like the Yazutoko, the Brazilian Marco Di Santi and stuff like that. I don't know how it took off from X Games. It was the best show of everything was happening there, I think.
No, I agree, and it's funny because we're at a point, because blading really hasn't been in the X Games for a while, that vert almost feels like it's like a lost art. Like not so many people are doing it as they were back in the day. Obviously, there's still the Yasutokos out there and people that cross over, but I was wondering, it's something you feel like it's important, right?
To what?
Skating vert, or vert being a part of rollerblading.
As I said before, it's never a plan or a goal to me. It's just like how it went. It's just how it went. So I'm so happy it went that way, because afterwards I think it helps to be consistency on every type of thing, to be able to skate everything. So I'm sure it helped me. But I mean, it was not a goal. It was just like where I started, you know. And I'm proud of it. So I keep it with me and take this opportunity to do it again whenever I can. So it's not often, but every time there's a vert ramp, I'm gonna go on the vert, skate with the vert riders for a bit, because it's some crazy some crazy feelings. I'm a vert skater as well, so I wanna enjoy with them for a little bit as well. But it's something. Vert. I often ask myself, what is most difficult between street skating and vert skating, and I can't find an answer, because if you talk about the balance, I would say vert, because in vert any mistake is gonna cost you because you're always 3 meters above the coping, you know. On street, of course, when you do the biggest stunts you've ever done, it's more dangerous than doing a air, but most of the time you're just gonna skate some ledges and stuff like that. So in this way, in terms of balance, I would say vert is the hardest. It takes so much time to get used to it, and like when I was taking lessons of vert, my coach on vert was telling me all the airs you do on vert, the flips, the spinning you do on vert, don't do them on a quarter pipe. You know, like he was not telling me to not skate park, but he was telling me when you skate a skate park or a mini ramp, grinds, just do grinds, fan box, but don't do airs on a normal quarter pipe because when you would go back to vert, you can have this reflex and you will die. So it was like, don't mess with it. Just separate it, you know?
It makes sense because it's completely different, airing on a vert and airing on a quarter pipe. Speaking of all the projects you've done, have you ever thought about like throwing a curve ball out there and making a vert project or a vert section ever? That would be pretty interesting.
I'm dreaming about skate. I'm daydreaming about skating all the time. So I've had some ideas like this, but it's not yet a proper project that I want to make. In one of the biggest projects I'd like to make, the biggest video I'd like to make, I think I'm gonna include some mega ramp. So it's not the vert, but you know, after the mega ramp comes the mega vert. the mega vert. I think it would include one or two. I mean, a session on this probably. I'd like to because it's so impressive.
You have access to a ramp like that?
No, I'm thinking Woodward is, but I think we won't have access anymore because they're taking off inline skating is no such a thing in Woodward anymore.
Well,
it's not official.
You could do like weekend visits, I think, apparently. We're trying to do that.
I think so. I've been visiting last year after Beta Call thanks to Jimmy Hake, but from what I saw, even with his relationship with the people out there, it looks to be more and more sketchy with inline skaters.
Yeah. How do you train your tricks? Because you have the most extensive flip vocabulary I think I've ever seen. I don't even know half the tricks you do, honestly. You're just spinning and everything. Do you have like a resi pad or a foam pit by you that you practice these, or you just send it at contests?
No, I've learned them through my whole career, you know. So I never throw a new one like this on wood. Even the first time I went for backflip as a kid, there was a mattress on the fun box, and I was lucky there was a mattress because I landed on my neck. And when I want to do some resi stuff or learn some new tricks, which is not that often because I need to go to Adrenaline Alley in England. That's what I did the last 5 years, maybe once a year, some things like that. But now they started to breed some around France. There's Anthony Avella who started to do some good stuff in south of France with nice resi ramp and stuff like that. But it's nice to try. It's nice to train on this, but it's always different. And everybody thinks I'm so good with spinning and stuff like that, but I can't do 9 and stuff like that because I go too much upside down. So when I get an opportunity of doing resi, I'm trying hard to get back those tricks that I was doing like 20 years ago, but since then, I went too much upside down that now I can't do. I can do 9 from the ground or from a bank, but I can't do 9 on a vert, on a quarter pipe.
Once you do that extra spin, you just start going upside down naturally. It's like
Yeah, when I throw it more than a 540, 540 is alright, but if I go 720, I go like a fucking pale seal upside down, and I hate that.
it's just the body's natural reaction to doing flat spins and backflips for so long.
I think so. You know what? I heard
Reflex.
I heard something. I don't know if it was a legend or some shit, but when I was doing those verts show all the time with the Tychris team back in the day, they were saying that Tychris was doing so much Mac twist. Mac twist is like a front flip 180 on the vert. He was doing it so much that at some point he couldn't do an air anymore. He was going for air and he was doing a Mac twist. I don't know if it's a legend or not, but it kind of makes sense because I never been there, but I kind of guess the feeling of it.
No, I think it makes sense, especially if you're doing
From
doing
nothing
it a
to
lot.
Mac twist, it's not like a 7 to a corkscrew, you know.
I mean,
it's something.
Chris Edwards told us on the show too. He was like,
Maybe.
Mick twists are super easy, which is kind of makes sense, but also for people who don't skate vert like us, I feel like it doesn't make sense. So that's probably what Ty Chris had. Like, he got so used to doing this trick that was second nature that he forgot how to like air.
Yeah,
I guess, you know?
it's not a tricks like you do part to part. You just I was doing mag tricks forever without knowing how my body was spinning. You know, it's just a trick you do spontaneously, like you just throw it, and you go back on your feet. But for a long time, I was always trying to see the spinning in my head, like spin by spin, you know, second after second. But I couldn't visualize it. So that's the kind of thing you do, like, you know, like a reflex. So yeah, that makes sense.
It's funny that you said we were talking about the mega ramp, and you're talking about going out to Woodward East. You don't have any mega ramps out here you can try, because it's funny to think that the first time you're trying to skate a mega ramp is at the Nitro Circus. Was that your first experience, or have you skated a mega ramp before that?
I think I skated only the mini mega from Woodward East before Nitro Circus, and Nitro Circus is nothing to compare, because mini mega is not even about the size, because I think the huge one in Woodward West, like that Chris Haffey made this crazy edit on, is like 10 times bigger than the one in Woodward East.
Yeah, they're different.
But it's still the same kind of ramp, like the bigger stuff they do for X Games and stuff like that. It's huge, but the ramp is not really a quarter. It's like almost a bank, you know. It doesn't push you really.
It's super mellow.
Yeah, it's super mellow, and it's strange. It's very good, but it's nothing to compare. Nitro Circus is like a proper front box quarter pipe, but 3 times higher, and with, you know, the distance is you know. So this is what I love the most about Nitro Circus. This ramp is unbelievable. Like you go so high, you go so far. The feeling, like when I did it for the first time, I think it was maybe the first time I had this feeling while skating, like this new feeling. I mean, I was like, you know, like stupid, like. The feeling you don't discover so many times in your life, you know, like this first time feeling. And I had this, I was like, what the fuck? And then I realized it was because it was combining my two passion, which is like skating and cliff diving. It was a mix of both of it, because I was on my skate, obviously, doing a ramp, so it's the skating part and just throwing this. But then in the air, it was all about cliff diving, because it's so much time in the air that I was not throwing the spin. I was just going, and then okay, I go, oh, hey, I'm here. Okay, I go for another one. So that's the thing I do in cliff diving.
One more. We still have time.
Yeah, that's what you do in cliff diving. You know, you just spot the landing, you go pretty slow, and then you spot it again. So you control and reduce or accelerate. And that was it on the Nitro Circus. It's so big. So in the beginning, it's really scary, because we're not used of landing from that high and that far. But once you started to be able to handle those pressure, then it's amazing, because it's really well made. As I was saying, you don't realize you're going so fast. Props to Haffey, who did it like fakey. I've been skating the Nitro Circus ramp 2 times now. The last time was I did a second show in Los Angeles during my last trip, and I'm always thinking about this when I'm on this ramp. Like I'm pretty good at fakey. I mean, I would not think about it for now. I don't understand, man.
I'm sorry.
It's crazy.
It's crazy to think about skating that ramp, because doesn't seem like much to test. You know,
yeah, there's no test.
It's just a hole, like you said. I like that reference. It's just a hole between like where you launch.
There's a couple of mattresses. If you go that enough far.
Oh, if you make it, there's a mattress.
No, I mean
on the under.
Yeah, there's a mattress right before. Like if you don't make it from close, you land on the mattress. But if you don't make it at all, there's no mattress. So you gotta
get to the mattress.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw a clip of a skateboarder going like speed wobbles down it and went off to the side and landed flat bottom from like 20 feet in the air.
It took some gnarly ones.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, I remember this one.
Do we think we need to talk to Yo-Yo about getting a mega ramp at Winterclash?
That's the hell of an organization, but yeah, I think it would make a nice show.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. Like I can relate to what you're talking about, because I've only skated the small one at Woodward East, and I couldn't 360 it, because I was like, okay, let's do it 360, and you're just like, oh, like, shit, I still have time, so you just keep going to back.
I thought you skated the big one at Woodward West. No,
I didn't skate that.
You just went there.
I just went there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't have the heart to do it.
That was like my dream to skate the one at Woodward West. I always wanted to just send it. The mini one at Woodward East, it's like fun.
Yeah,
and it's like makes you. Like it gets you thirsty to skate the real one, you know. That's why I wanted to skate the Nitro Circus.
I think the one from Woodward West is like more dangerous. Not dangerous because it looks really well made, but more impressive and harder to skate. So I have some friends that are good skate park skaters, and they didn't even went through it
Yeah.
front side. Like
No,
it's huge. It's fucking huge.
it's so much different doing a trick at that speed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you're just like skating
Yeah,
a
we-
wedge or whatever,
yeah.
you're just like casual speed. But when you're bombing down a mountain or down a huge start ramp, and then you have to do a trick at that super high speed, it's a
At
different
this
game.
speed and this high, we're not wearing skis. We're wearing fucking shoes.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
It's kind of crazy. It's like sneakers with wheels, pretty much.
Yeah.
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 Shout out to the Fast Shoes. Great video. But wow.
That was a good video.
But we're getting down to the end of the podcast now. Do you have any goals in the future of like where you would like to see skating go, your own skating go, or skating as a whole?
As only the project I'm been dreaming for years now, which is mostly street section, once in Paris, one worldwide one. So yeah, I have a lot in mind. I know I'm probably not gonna go through all of this, but I have so much that if I go even half of it, I'd be happy. And yeah, my goal is just to stay healthy and long enough to achieve some part of it. And I think that's all about my goals. Then I'm also a poker player, so I'd like to win some proper big tournaments and stuff like that. But right now, I'm the priority is skating.
You're a poker player.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
You could do that in skate. too.
You too.
I do too, but I got
Wait.
beat up too hard. It's a hard
I
game.
went to play in a commerce casino in LA.
Did you?
And my friend told me he ran into you at some point over there, I think.
Was it Brandon?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Guyenne.
oh, no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
You guys
Yes.
have casino buddies?
Next time you come out, we'll go play.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Cool.
I'll be back. Between FM Invitational and Carriers Open, and probably for Blading Cup, I'll be around.
Oh, cool. We'll definitely
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, I didn't even know, but from what I heard, like LA is even better known for pokers than Vegas. It's crazy. And Commerce Casino is.
I didn't know that.
That's so cool. I didn't know that. Cliff jumping. I didn't know that was a hobby of yours. So, do you have like locations, and how did you get into that?
I get into that like randomly when I was a kid. My cousin, which is the same age as me, was already doing ski with his father, who was an old pro skier, alpine skier, free ride skier. So my cousin was already into it, and yeah, I was hanging with them every summer. So my parents were letting me hanging with him and his father because they knew his father can handle it and he was knowing what he was doing. So we were pretty free, you know. So and we were like going crazy, jumping from trampoline to swimming pool, from the rocks, from the cliff on the seaside, because all my family live in south of France. So every summer we were out there, and that's how I started to go upside down basically. And yeah, I just love it and did it like growing up. And yeah, that's just a passion. I'm far from being pro on that. I know like I won't go more than like 18 meters or 20 meters. I don't know how many feet would be,
Yeah,
but
it's like 60 feet. It's pretty high.
yeah, it's pretty high. But that's what you can. I think that's what you can handle if you're not a pro, you can handle this because you can fall bad from this.
Yeah, you can get hurt.
You can get hurt, but you probably won't die. But if you go higher and you're not a pro in this, it's kind of like putting your life on the spot. So I'm just taking it easy because yeah, the more I grew up, the more I don't want to risk anything more than skating. You know, I'm already risking a lot when skating all the time that I don't want to lose time and getting hurt like by skiing or by doing whatever else. So
Skating's the priority, and we're just
it's a
gonna
priority to get hurt.
we're gonna take it easy and
No.
just only do 20 meters. That's it.
Yeah.
We're gonna be calm about it.
Exactly. Only 20 minutes, 20
Still
meters.
massive. I'm like looking out the window now at like what that would be. It's like the top of these buildings. Julien, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Is there anything you want to say, shout out, anything before we get going here?
The only thing comes to my mind is my Pro Wheel is going to be out, and I think you can already check it out at the Cymatics booth. So if you enjoyed the part and enjoyed the brands or want to discover it, you're welcome. I'll be over there with the guys hanging out if you want to talk or whatever. And yeah, thank you everyone for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
Hell yeah.
Guys, let's
Thank
give
you.
it up for Julien Cudot.
Thank you, Billy.